a really long time since we've had a Cooking with Kristin, but that is what I'm going to do for you guys today. This has been probably the most requested thing on my channel, aside from my dad's coffee cake, which we will work on in the future. And this is my lemon bar recipe. This has been in my family for a really long time. I have tweaked it a few times myself, and this is what I've come down with as our lemon bar recipe. So what I'm baking today is actually going to be double the recipe in a 9x13 as I'm taking it to work for a little birthday treat. But the recipe that I will list below for you is just for a 9x9 or an 8x8. It doesn't really matter, square pan. So you can do whichever you want, or simply double it for a 9x13 pan, which is what I have here. So we are going to go ahead and get started. The first thing that you need is, for doubling the recipe, is 1 cup of butter, so I'm going to get that in here. All right, to that 1 cup of butter, I'm going to add a ½ cup of powdered sugar. Get that in there. And then 2 cups of flour. All right, and you can do this by hand. You can do this with a pastry cutter in or blender thingy, or you can do it with your KitchenAid, whatever you've got. I'm just going to put this on low, and we're going to let this just beat it up, and then I'll show you the consistency when I'm done. You want to stop it on occasion and kind of knock off the extra chunks of butter and then, you know, get it going again. You're looking for I feel like I just had flour flying out of there. You're looking for a real light, kind of fluffy almost consistency. And it will tend to, like, when it's there, when the butter's really well incorporated, if you press some of the flour mixture between your fingers, it will kind of stick together. If that makes any sense. All right, so you can see here, I'm just kind of use this to show you the consistency that you're looking for. You can see it's kind of, and then if you grab it together, it will form into a ball like that. So this is the perfect consistency. So you should use obviously you're doubling it, a 9x13 or a 9x9, 8x8 if you're not. And you just want to, I've got my rings off for this. You just want to put this down, and then you're going to pat it into place. So I've got it down in here. Sometimes I just like to do this with it, just to kind of get yourself started. And then, like I said, you're just going to gently pat it into place. You don't have to like smash it down or anything. Just pat it into place. Like I said, take your rings off. And you really don't have to use a KitchenAid to get it to this, you know, to get it like this. I used to use just a fork, or like I said, a pastry, what are those things called? Pastry blender where you cut butter in, you know what I'm saying. All right, so you've got this all set. Now you want to put this into a preheated oven for 15 to 20 minutes, or just until the top of it is getting golden brown. Then we'll put the filling on top and put it back in the oven, but for now, let's get this going. All right, so I've just taken this out of the oven. You can see how it starts to crack on the top there. Like, looks cracked. And then it's just browning on the edges. That's perfect. So we're just going to set that over here to cool. And I just have that on a wire rack, just in case. All right, so I have my KitchenAid bag, and I have it, the whisk attachment on it. And I'm just going to put in 4 eggs. And then I want to whip those up a little bit before I add in any of the other ingredients. So I have those whipped up, and you can see that they're just a little bit frothy. Now I'm going to add in part of the sugar, and again, this is a double batch. If you were just doing a single batch, you could probably just dump it all in there, but because it's a double batch, I want to add in kind of half at a time, half or a third at a time, and just mix it up in between. Now into that, I'm going to add some flour. There's 4 tablespoons of here for a double batch, of course. I feel like I keep saying that, but I just want to make sure everybody understands. The 2 tablespoons would be enough, and again, I'm going to do that in 2 separate batches. I did the sugar actually in 3 batches, but it's just kind of your own personal preference. In between, I'm just going to scrape the sides to make sure that I get all the flour that's gone up on the sides down and incorporated into that. And we're just going to add the rest of the flour. Just going to do one more swipe of the spatula around here to make sure that I get all of the flour. One last zhuzh. What I have here then is 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. You certainly could squeeze this yourself out of lemons, but I just went ahead and used my lemon juice from the refrigerator because, well, that works for me. And I actually put a little bit extra in there. I like these to be really lemony. You want to be a little bit careful though, because you don't want to mess up your consistency. All right, so that is the consistency that you want. You kind of like to see those little bubbles on there and that sort of thing. I'm going to go ahead and pour this over the crust. You generally want to have the crust cooled a little bit more. I'm always impatient. I never wait for it to cool completely, partly because I'm impatient, partly because the oven's already on. I don't want to turn it off and turn it back on. and I don't want it to be on forever. So I'm just gonna go ahead and they work just fine for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dump this over this. Pour this over, nothing to it, nothing spectacular. I want every last drop of this lemony goodness on there. I love lemon anything. Bob, not so much a fan of lemon. So that's why I usually make these when I'm taking them to work or something like that. I don't just make them on the regular. All right, I'm just gonna pop these back in the oven for another 20 to 25 minutes and I will show you what they look like when they're done. Okay, so I've just pulled these out of the oven and they are really beautiful, just kind of golden. Just the edges are starting to get brown, and that's perfect. So then what I'm going to do is, I just have this, I think I bought from Pampered Chef a long time ago. There's some powdered sugar in here. You could also use a little like hand sieve and do that with a spoon and some powdered sugar. I just want to put some powdered sugar on here just to make it look a little bit prettier. You know, it's all about the presentation. And I like to do that right when I get them out of the oven so that it actually sticks. If you wait until later, it might look pretty to begin with, but it's not going to stick. And then that's not fun. So this is it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to go ahead tomorrow morning probably, insert a little clip of what they look like when I cut them up so that you can see them. So there's no way for me to do this with you guys seeing my face and this at the same time. I'm just not that good. But I like to use a plastic. You can use just a plain plastic knife if you have one, like a disposable. Or this I think I got from Tupperware a long time ago. But this cuts so much better in lemon bars as well as in brownies. It cuts through without, you know, getting all kinds of gunk and that sort of thing. So I'm just going to cut one out here to show you guys. And then sort of a little trick that I like to do when I cut along the edges, because I want mine to look all kind of nice and perfect, I will just cut out this little bit here, and there's not much lemon there, so Bob will eat those edges for me. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just kind of cutting along the edge so that none of them look like they were outside pieces. So hopefully you guys can see there's a little bit of ooey gooey lemoniness there, and then the beautiful crust and the nice kind of crunchy crust on the top. Just the perfect lemon bar. The crust is so kind of light and fluffy. Just perfect. You guys have got to try this. For those of you that have been waiting for this, I hope that you enjoyed it and that it is helpful to you and that you give it a shot. If you do, shoot me, put a picture on Instagram or Snapchat or something and shoot it to me and let me see. I would love to see that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and in everything that you do, be beautiful. Bye.